Welcome to the Explainer.
You know, when you see that national debt clock just spinning up into the trillions, what do you think? It's so easy to just assume, right, that our leaders are, well, maybe incompetent, maybe greedy, or maybe they're just really, really bad at math.
But what if that's just the easy answer, the comfortable lie we tell ourselves? What if the system isn't broken at all? Think about it. What if the endless debt, the nonstop inflation, that feeling you get, you know, the one where you're working harder and harder, but your money just buys less and less? What if all of that is actually by design? Okay, yeah, let's really get into this.
So to really wrap our heads around this thing, we've got to look at the sheer scale of it. Right now, the world, the entire planet, owes $315 trillion. I mean, just try to picture that number. It's so big, it almost doesn't even feel real, right? It's practically meaningless. Let's try to put that into perspective, though. Imagine we sold everything, and I mean everything on the planet. Every building, every car, every single company. We'd still be in the red. We couldn't pay it off. So the obvious question is, who exactly do we owe all this money to? Is Earth in debt to Mars or something? Nope. The real answer is way more interesting than that.
And this quote, this one really nails it. The debt isn't a bug in the software, it is the software. See, this isn't some accident or mistake. It's the fundamental operating system of our entire financial world. And you know what? It was built piece by a handful of very smart, very strategic people over the last 300 years.
So let's meet them. Let's meet the architects who actually engineered this whole system, this trap, you could call it. And we're going to start way, way back in the 17th century.
Okay, our first architect is a guy named William Paterson. He was a Scottish merchant, and he saw a golden opportunity in a completely broke English government. The year is 1694. King William III, he desperately needs cash for another war with France, but nobody, and I mean nobody, would lend him a dime. Why? Well, because kings had a really bad reputation for, not paying people back.
So Paterson comes along and pitches the king this, honestly, it's kind of an evil but absolutely brilliant idea. He says, look, me and my buddies will lend you 1.2 million pounds. But there was a huge catch. The king would never have to pay back the original loan, the principal. All he had to do was pay 8% interest on it forever. And guess who would guarantee that interest payment? Yep, the citizens through their taxes. And right there, that's the core innovation. It's genius, really. Paterson didn't just create a loan. Oh no. He created a permanent rental agreement on the entire country's future productivity. For the very first time in history, the people themselves became the collateral for a government loan that was designed from the start to never be settled. The trap was officially set.
All right, so Paterson laid down the blueprint. But for this system to really take off, it had to be scaled up. It needed to become a massive, industrial-sized operation. You could say Paterson built the prototype, but our second architect, a man named Nathan Rothschild, he's the one who built the factory.
Rothschild's stroke of genius was this. He took that big chunk of government debt, he chopped it up into little bite-sized pieces called bonds. And then he sold those bonds to everyone. Pension funds, insurance companies, rich individuals, anybody with cash. He literally created the modern bond market as we know it.
Now, the real brilliance of this move was what it did for the stability of the whole system. Think about it. If the government decided not to pay its bills, it wasn't just screwing over one rich banker anymore. Oh no. Now it was wiping out the pensions and the life savings of the entire powerful upper class. Rothschild made the debt too big to fail. He made it inescapable by weaving it right into the fabric of society itself.
So Rothschild weaves the debt into the economy. But for this machine to really hit its final form, it needed an engine room. Let's jump forward in time a bit to 1913. America is now this massive economic powerhouse, right? But it's missing one crucial piece that the Europeans already had, a central bank. And this is where our third architect, the one and only J.P. Morgan, steps onto the stage. After this very hush-hush secret meeting on a place called Jekyll Island, Morgan and his banker buddies designed what we now know as the Federal Reserve. Now, it sounds all official and governmental, right? But here's the thing. It's a privately owned banking cartel that just has a government seal of approval. And its main job, its primary function, to print money literally out of thin air to buy up government debt. This creates a bottomless, unlimited demand for that debt.
Okay, let's recap. We've got a permanent loan, we've got a global market to trade it, and we have a machine that can print endless money to buy it.
What else could you possibly need? Well, this brings us to our final architect and into the modern era. By the 1980s, there was just one last little problem they needed to solve. What do you do when a country is so broke it can't even afford to pay the interest on its debt? Enter Paul Volcker, who was the chairman of the Fed at the time. He pioneered the final and maybe the most ruthless innovation. See, a bunch of Latin American countries were on the verge of defaulting on massive loans to major US banks. Did Volcker let them fail? Nope. Instead, he used the IMF to lend them even more money. But it came with some very strict strings attached. They had to sell off their state-owned assets, their utilities, their oil companies. They had to cut pensions for their people. They had to open up their markets. Just like that, debt had officially become a weapon, a tool to acquire real, tangible assets for pennies on the dollar.
So that's the history. That's how the machine was built, piece by piece. But the real question is, how does this 300-year-old contraption affect you? Like today, when you're at the grocery store trying to buy a carton of eggs.
Well, get this. The interest payment alone on the US national debt is now over $1 trillion a year. Let that sink in. That's more than the entire US military budget. So every single tax dollar you send to the government, it's not all going to roads or schools or hospitals. A massive chunk of it is just going to pay the interest on a loan that was never designed to be paid back in the first place.
And here's exactly how that silent wealth transfer works, step by step. First, the government needs money it doesn't have, so it issues bonds. That's the debt. Then the Fed cranks up the printing press to buy those bonds. This floods the system with new money, which means the dollars already in your bank account are now worth less. That's inflation. It's a hidden tax on your savings. All the while, your actual taxes are being used to pay interest to the wealthy individuals and institutions who own all that government debt. It is a massive, silent transfer of wealth happening every single day.
I know. It sounds pretty hopeless, doesn't it? Like the game has been rigged against us for centuries. But here's the secret, the big twist. You don't try to fight the machine head on. You can't. What you do is learn its rules. Because there's a glitch in this matrix. There's actually a way to use their own weapon against them.
You see, the entire system is built to punish people who save cash and reward people who take on debt. It sounds backwards, but it's true. If you just hoard cash in a savings account, the Fed keeps printing money and your savings just rot away. They lose value every single day because of inflation. But if you do the opposite, if you borrow money at a fixed interest rate to buy a real tangible asset like a house or rental property, something amazing happens. Your monthly payment, your debt, it stays the same, but inflation pushes up the value of your asset and the rent you can charge. The real value of your debt literally melts away over time.
And this quote, man, this just says it all. When you take out a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage, you are essentially shorting the US dollar. Now, to short something just means you're betting that its value is going to go down. So when you lock in a 30-year mortgage, you are locking in a debt in today's dollars, and you are making a massive bet that those dollars will be worth a whole lot less in 10, 20, 30 years. You're betting that the system is going to keep doing exactly what it was designed to do, create inflation. And honestly, that might be the safest bet in all of financial history.
So let's just boil this down to the key takeaways. Number one, this whole debt system isn't some accident. It is a 300-year-old design. It's intentional. Two, inflation isn't some random economic event. It is a mechanism for transferring wealth, plain and simple. It's a feature, not a bug. And third, and this is the most important one for you, this system is built from the ground up to reward debtors who own assets and to punish savers who just hold cash.
Look, this financial matrix we live in, it was meticulously built over centuries to work in a very, very specific way. It's designed to reward one type of person and punish another. So really, the only question that matters is this. Now that you know the rules of the game, how are you going to play?